Greetings, learners. Welcome to week 6. Our focus for week 6 is geography, which is something that I used to not love because when I did geography in school, it was just coloring maps and memorizing cities and states and countries. But that's actually not geography. Geography is much more encompassing. It's the study of humans and why they move places and why they settle places, and it includes culture and language and religion and urban development. So it's a very actually dynamic part of social studies. You are doing assignment 1, which is to watch this video. And then assignment 2 is books that teach empathy, which we're including as part of geography because when we understand the greater world, we can understand each other better. Then we have a reading and discussion, our first lesson sketch, which is not a full lesson plan. And then we're also going to submit our cultural learning experience this week. All right, so books that teach empathy. Let me take you over to Brightspace to take a look at that. Here we are in Brightspace, down in week 6. And this is the assignment, books that teach empathy. So what I've done so that we all have the same books is just share with you links to books on YouTube so that we have access to all the same ones. You're going to choose 2, whichever ones you want, watch them both. Then of those 2, you're going to answer these questions in the text submission box, okay? What is an activity you could do to introduce the concept of empathy before reading the book? And then what's something that you could do after the book to help students practice the lesson? The next assignment is your reading discussion, okay? All right, so your reading discussion, if you're looking at the checklist, your reading discussion is linked. It is part of chapter 10, just 6 pages, part of chapter 13, and part of chapter 2. Okay, so be careful to really look at these, and then replying to these questions, and you're going to post, reply, and then comment. So you're actually on there 3 times. Next is the lesson sketch. This is a section of the full lesson plan you will eventually do in this class. That is the Educational Studies lesson plan. So it's the lesson plan that is used in other courses in the Educational Studies major. So here's the materials on the lesson sketch. Again, it's just part of it. So it's really important that you look at the examples so that you have a better understanding. You are going to pick the grade level. You're going to pick the content standards, give me an objective, and tell me what materials, okay? And then you're going to basically just do the main sections of the lesson plan. So how will you teach it? Why? What are your instructional strategies and why? And then what's your closure and why? Okay, and I'm not looking for a ton of details. Here's another example. Okay, and there really needs to be a good reason why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, so make sure you fill out that rationale. Using anything from Teachers Pay Teachers or Etsy or using AI to create this assignment is considered plagiarism and is not going to help you be a teacher. Once you're a teacher for a couple of years, then you do sort of automate the lesson design process. But I can tell you that a lot of teachers, their lessons would be better if they slow down and occasionally they went through the whole process. So please don't skip this part of your learning. This is important to establishing a good foundation in your understanding of pedagogy to be a good teacher. And then finally, the cultural learning experience from week 3 is due this week. You had 3 weeks for that assignment. I've gone ahead and moved the cultural learning experience here into week 6, but it still says week 3. So when this was assigned, you were to pick a experience different from something you normally do. Could be a grocery store, could be a worship service, again, a community event. And then you're just going to write an explanation. This tends to be about a page double-spaced. That's about how long it tends to be. Could it be 3/4? Yes, if what's written is meaningful, it could be 3/4 a page. I've also seen it be a page and a half. It really is about the quality of what you're writing and the reflection that you have in your work. All right, that's it for week 6. I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving, however that looks for you and your friends and family. And if you've recently experienced any loss and are going through this holiday without a loved one, my heart is also out to you. I know that the holidays can be hard when we are going through difficult times as well. So I hope that you have an opportunity to celebrate, to relax, and to be with the people you care about.